Right. Hello, YouTube. Sucky likes hipster pants, apparently.
No. That was Craig.
I didn't say what I
Craig
like.
likes Sucky's hipster pants.
I do like Sucky's hipster pants.
I shouldn't have showed them to you, Craig. You know.
Well, those you sent to the post were most appreciated.
Well, they were stained, so just in case you wanted the extra flavour.
We haven't going to get your cock out for the YouTubes in a while, have we?
No, exactly.
No, we've not had that, have we? No, he's behaved himself for a while.
I can't believe he jumped on that chair with to do a few thrusts showing off hipster briefs from the bad back that you've got, Sucky. It's terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good job, Royal Mail. I haven't seen that.
They have no way of they're going to be seeing that.
That's for our eyes only, boys.
Yeah, they'll be putting that up on YouTube.
Let's get into it. Okay. Hello and welcome to Around the Console. I'm Bob and joining me are John, Sucky and Craig. We are putting Around the Console the finale of Doctor Who Flux, Chapter 6, The Vanquishers. I'm just going to come round and get a vibe. What did you think, Sucky?
Okay, so I really enjoyed it. And actually, this is a special appearance by my daughter. Thank you very much. Say hello.
Hello, everyone.
Oh,
and then goodbye.
Look at you.
Hey.
Infiltrating
Bye-bye.
the actual podcast. Hello.
That was a small little cameo from my daughter, Lucky, which you'll hear from later on with the feedback section. She'll bring in a hot water bottle from my bad back. But
why are you sitting on your hot water bottle like you've got piles?
I'm not sitting on the hot water bottle.
You did. You just put it under your ass.
No, I did not.
For the audio listeners.
Small of his back.
Yes, it's right
Difficult
there.
to tell. He's got hardly any arse, Sucky. I can tell by his body figure.
Well, the amount of times I've had to expose it on the YouTube channels for you guys,
That is true.
I thought
you should know how much arse I've actually
That
got.
was your dick. Anyway.
It's actually very bony.
What, his dick?
It's got fucking angles in it and everything.
It's okay.
Right. Yes, the first time I watched it, it was confusing a bit and it seemed rushed. And then, so I knew that it probably would be something like that. So I needed a second view. And that's what I did. I watched it the second time and I enjoyed it so much more. Everything was explained. There's only maybe a couple of plot threads that I didn't like or weren't explained, but everything else was explained. So on a second viewing, I got into this episode so much more. Go on.
Oh, so you liked it, Craig? Yes. Slapping your pad down there. What?
I just turned the page.
It's not turning a page. You absolutely slapped that pad right on that table.
It was when Sucky said issues left. I kind of had a little list of the things I thought were left, and I just wanted to see how many issues left unresolved I thought there were. Actually, I pretty much agree with what Sucky said. When I watched it the first time round, I really did enjoy it. There's no doubt about that. But it felt rushed. I didn't quite get, but I did. It kind of hadn't, I wasn't absorbing it as quick as the storyline needed to. And I didn't quite get the beauty of the multi-doctor story. It just seemed there were doctors everywhere. But I agree that I knew when I was watching it that it was going to need a second viewing. I knew that I liked it. And having watched it again for a second time, I really appreciated it so much more. I just think it was a really good, well, it was a really great story, a really great conclusion to the finale of the series.
Positive, like it. John?
Yeah, I'm going to echo you guys. I think the majority of the problem is that if you watch it first time, you're never going to get it, which is an issue. However, I think, like you said, the Three Doctor stuff was good. There's still bits in it after watching it a second time that I'm not 100% sure I understand and know who is who and what they actually are. But yeah, I don't know if it was my own expectations or anything, but for a very complex story, there are quite a few meh endings. So I'm not 100% against it by any stretch, but it's not the best of the six.
No, fair enough. I mean, I definitely agree with you guys on the second watch. Even on the second watch, I sometimes, well, I did this time, put on subtitles just so I don't miss anything, because Sontarans can't pronounce Routons anymore. But there you go. But no, it was definitely a second watch job, and I got a lot more the second time, and I was really happy. I think the problem is with this kind of thing, when you're in it, you're theorizing, you're coming up with these things, and when when it doesn't happen as you think it's going to happen, or you built it up to be a lot bigger than you think it's going to be, than it is, then you're going to be let down.
Is that the Great Serpent? Is it culprit of that? Do you think?
I think a little bit, yeah, because he was so awesome. But on the second watch, I did quite like it. But
I think he's been left.
Yeah,
I think he's been left for RT Davies to pick up if he needs him or wants him.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? And there's a couple of things really that stood out to me. I've mentioned it a few times in Flux that quite a few of the stories have had this kind of 3 plot thread, and again, this was properly emphasised the fact there was 3 doctors doing 3 different things, 3 different parts of the plot, which I thought was cool and worked really well. For me, it was to use the word perfect is whatever, but I thought everything was wrapped up great. The Flux, and then we touched on it last week that I hope it's just it will be the Flux, and then the Timeless Child stuff will come after. It sort of just got flirted with that a little bit, and she got the warning at the end, but. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I think this whole 6-part of this Flux story has been the best Doctor Who of New Who for me personally. And I can't wait to go back and watch it all again. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about this episode. So let's start with not necessarily negatives, but the sort of endings that disappointed you. And I think you were sort of saying there was a couple of bits for you, John, that you weren't quite happy with.
The Grand Serpent ending was a little bit, it's a little bit very underwhelmed by that, but it's not in any way misunderstood what's happened. I don't have any problem with that, but I think it just didn't really do anything. And Swarm and Azure, I felt a little bit as if their story was like, well, kind of what's the point of them in this story, other than just to fill time and be a bad enemy and a cool design. I think there's lots of aspects of this episode. Now, I think the problem is that it's not the episode itself that's the issue. If you look at it in microcosm, it is, but whether you've got the whole arc, it's not about the destination, is it? It's the journey, and the journey has been the fun part for us.
Oh yeah.
And so the destination part, we build up to be this massive, all-consuming, brilliant thing, when it's not. It's just a culmination of a bunch of steps.
Yeah.
It was hectic. There was lots going on, but Jodie was my fucking treat of the episode. She was
incredible. She is. And then the second watch, I was like, she's my favorite Doctor of the New Who. Possibly my favorite.
Same here,
possibly top of the lot. She was phenomenal. I think she's amazing. She showed all different levels of acting ability or whatever. I just think she's incredible. It's okay.
Did you say New Who or all of them?
No, I said New Who. Definitely my favorite New Who.
I was just going to say, I thought Mr. McCoy had been a search.
Yeah, no, she was. I was just absolutely mind blowing. I just think she's just an amazing actress and an amazing Doctor. Just to touch on the Grand Serpent thing while we're on it, and I kind of know what you mean about. I think my first watch was a bit like, well, what was the point in Bell and Vinda? What was the point in the Grand Serpent? But the Grand Serpent storyline, when I watched it the second time on reflection, it's quite a big one. He was trying to, use the Sontarans, who were the big bad in this. They were the ones doing whatever they're doing with the Flux, to then sort of take over a great fucking race. And I know the time wasn't there maybe put into it, but there wasn't the time there. But his plan was quite grandiose. And that's on the second view. That was my sort of thing about the Grand Serpent. He was an awesome villain. My favorite villain. One of my favorite villains in New Who, definitely a favorite villain in this Flux series. So I know what you mean. Maybe he wasn't given whatever, but his plot was quite massive.
It was quite nicely explained, I thought. The way it just in that few moments, you realise with the Doctor's questioning that, he'd had his empire, whatever it was, which is where it was with Vinda right at the very beginning, wasn't it? Where he had all this power and then he lost it. So I thought, it was a little bit underwhelming, but that's only because we'd speculated so much about it, and it came down to something really simple. But I actually really liked the simplicity of the plot when it came to it, and I liked the fact that it was nothing big. It was just another adversary. It wasn't a Time Lord. It was just a new race. Explain wanting to get his power back, and I thought the ending was great with the way they
people are still wanting to say it's Rassilon, but I mean.
Why do you have to have that? Why
exactly? Why do you have to have that? And us exploring the possibilities going up to that, it's not on the Doctor Who writer to sort of
And while it was just a cool adversary that did a good job all the way through, it was a new plot.
The one problem I do have with the Great Serpent thing is that it really felt like it was there just as a device to get Vinda and Bell into the Doctor's company, and Kate Stewart a little bit the same. She was just there for nothing. She didn't do anything.
Now you mentioned Vinda and Bell, and this is an opportune moment. Sorry, Suki, I'll just have this and then I'll let you in. But the Vinda and Bell thing, now that's been hyped up. Is it the Doctor's baby? All this kind of stuff. Well, I loved on second viewing. First viewing was a bit like, what was the point in them? But just characters in the plot, and that's all right. They were just lovers trying to find each other, and yeah, cool. Just because. Sorry, go on, Suki. Sorry,
I was just going to say it wasn't the production company or anybody within the production company that's hyped up.
No, I know.
Bell and Binder. It's always just been the fans, and that's what's happened. That the fans' expectation of whatever their storyline was going to be has built it up to such a degree, and then when it's not it's actually big. They're just ordinary characters caught up in the Doctor's shenanigans.
Yeah, which I thought was brilliant. Yeah, sorry, Craig. Sorry,
they were just a couple, weren't they? That's all it was. They were just a couple that had a baby, and it showed their love and their companionship, and it was just a bit cool because it had that little techno gizmo, and it was just really lovely. But we'd all read into it, and we were looking for storylines and things, and there wasn't one. It was just normal life with a couple in love trying to find each other. I loved it.
I love that because I was like, ha.
Yeah. That feels like old. That feels like old Who, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
because it feels like because you don't have to have these. The problem is like every iteration of Doctor Who, they've got to up the ante and up the ante. It's like the universe is at stake. What they're going to do next? The multiverse is at stake. You don't need to do that because the simplicity of these little personal stories are what we like Who for as well.
Yeah,
we're not just in it for the shits and giggles and all the kicks.
I think, but I agree. But when Chibnall tried to do it in series 1, he got slated so much, didn't he, for not having these big stories or a big finale. So it seems in his tenure, he's gone from almost no story out, really. Obviously, the Seed of the Timeless Child, no finale, to this massive, grandiose thing, which I think has just really paid off for him.
I think so.
I think as well with this 6-part story is the fact that he used new elements. He didn't use a lot of old elements. He just brought back the Centaurans for the one episode and this finale, Weeping Angels for one episode. The Daleks and Cybermen were just in it for a little amount. Unit, Kate Stewart were in for a little amount, half an episode, probably 10-15 minutes maximum over the 6-episode thing. But everything else, I think, was brand new, and it just worked. With just using because that's what you want with sometimes what you want with Doctor Who is not always looking to the past to entertain you. You want something new to be able to carry on the legacy, be able to move on to new things and go, oh yeah, that's something brand new. We'll go with that. We don't have to keep looking at the past to bring some. Like John said, somebody thinking the Grand Serpent was Rassilon. Other people have thought he was a master. Other people have thought he was a Rani, type meddling monk, all sorts of things. But it was just someone new. It was just a brand new character. Great design.
Did the Sontarans brilliantly in this. I think this is the best I've seen the Sontarans possibly even ever written. They were just awesome the way they looked, the menace, their obsession with battle, the remorselessness, but also the funny, the little, the chocolate and things like that. They kept true to the character, the way they just wiped out.
With the Sontarans. I mean, I did laugh out loud in a few bits, and that was mainly thanks to the Sontarans when they're in that corner shop because they discovered basically they're addicts for chocolate. And it was, and just when the Doctor came, and then he asked him, and he was like, "More scum." Dan came, 3 scum, and stuff like that. He's just got his mouth covered in chocolate, and then just the way they're telling him about these tiny morsels in paper and all this kind of stuff. I thought that was so funny.
That was new though, wasn't it? We'd never had the chocolate thing before.
No, it's because it was just to try to get a source of energy. And I just thought this corner shop infiltration idea was very Douglas Adams ridiculous.
That also explains the bit with the War of the Centaurans where Mrs. Seacole had Madame Seacole had Mary Seacole had a Centauran in a hospital for a number of days. How did he survive without having something being put into the back of his private vent?
Chocolate.
It's because he was given chocolate or food to be able to keep him sustained. They don't need that private vent to be able to go for days without, for survival.
I liked it. Do you hummed, John? Was that not a thing for you?
No, but not for the right reasons. Have I hummed? I'm only humming because the best source of chocolate is not going to be a corner shop. It's going to be a fucking massive chain supermarket. And it's like, I understand narratively it's Doctor Who. We don't need to be strictly fucking tied to the point, but come on,
brilliant.
just fucking break into Dairy Milk's warehouse.
I literally live across the road from Nestle's in York, so it's, that's quite relevant. I might get an invasion of Sontarans coming at me. But I just thought you are right, but it
if
was
it had been a chocolate factory, it would have made a bit more sense.
Yeah, but these are scattered geographically around the whole country rather than in one centre.
Yeah, so by looks of it as well, it's the commanders that seem to be addicted. The run-of-the-mill Sontaran soldiers, they're sent away. So the commanders, the commander of each of these platoons know exactly where to go.
I love that they kind of, the way in which there was a real Sontaran plot in this, wasn't it? It had the revenge, and then it was an attempt, obviously, to get control, use the flux, and then to kill the Cybermen, to get rid of the Daleks. There's a real kind of master plan going on for the Sontarans, which I thought was a really good way to do it. They're taking out the biggest two enemies, and again, try to raise their level of a threat. I thought it was just really, the fleeting appearances of the Daleks and Cybermen just added to the beauty of it in some ways. Those spaceships appearing were awesome.
It was cool. Yeah, no, visually amazing. Yeah. That CGI was just stunning, absolutely stunning. With just a couple of things with the Sontarans, obviously they said Rutans, or whatever he said, which was cool. And there was a bit which reminded me of Anthony Ainley in Logopolis when he's speaking to the universe, and I was like, ooh. Nice one, Chibbers. Nice one, Chibbers.
Well, Chibbers has put loads of these in every episode, hasn't he?
Oh yeah. And I love all that stuff. And it's not all the time quite subtle, but sometimes it's just wonderful, just wonderful. Williamson, bless him. It reminded me a bit of the Van Gogh thing when when Van Gogh discovers that he was brilliant and it was worth it.
Yeah.
And
that is a good point, yeah.
And I just love that. And I thought, I've touched on a few times when we've done the previous episodes that he's a bit sort of League of Gentlemen character, but I thought he was awesome.
He was toned down, wasn't he? In this episode?
He was great.
I think he suffered from the fact that I think all of these plot threads had, let's fucking finish it quickly. Let's not piss about.
Yeah.
And so he's there 1 minute and then, all right, I'm off forever. All right, that just happened in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
His arc closed down. And there was a bunch of those sort of really felt like rushed endings for the characters.
It was pacey, it was quick. You did have to keep up, and I think like we've all said, we had to watch it a second time.
Oh yeah.
And I love that because you get more for your money, don't you? Do you know,
distracted again?
Who's ringing you, Sucky?
He set his baby
alarm. But it's my alarms for my pills and me blood pressure thing.
And to wake up for the podcast. Well, at least you're here. That's amazing.
Pop your Viagra now.
Yeah, well, I've got to show my dick to the YouTubers, isn't I?
Yeah, you want it to be big.
But yeah, the whole door. Well, Williamson, the whole doors thing. I thought it was a lovely idea. The fact that he's noticing these little time distortions, whatever you want to call them, and he's putting doors in them, labeling them, and he's building because he's seeing the flux. He's building. This is the reason why these tunnels were built, was to protect people. And I love the doors idea, and it's just little things like that which I think were brilliant. I think I've got my head around it. Were they just sort of like little issues because the flux and time had caused them, or what was it? Have I got that wrong?
That again is one of the things that wasn't really explained very easily. Really.
I think. Go on, sir.
No, just
fuck you both. I'm going to go. No.
I think it has something to do with the flux because the flux seems to be on the end of most of them doors, right? Because he did say that there's a lot of after a bit the doors were just turning to black, right? So I think because the flux was happening and time was being manipulated on Atropos, right, or allowed to run freely. There's a lot of fabric of space and time was being corrupted just in that little spot of Liverpool by the looks of it, which led to the doors being
and the TARDIS.
Yeah, which looked great against Liverpool, by the way. Yeah, and the TARDIS as well.
I love that shot of the Sontaran standing with the Beatles. If you saw that, they're panning there, he's just standing right behind the Beatles.
It was cool. It was cool.
I've got to be honest and say that for me, I love the idea of the Williamson Tunnel, but it just... I don't know if it's his acting, like we said last week, being a bit League of Gentlemen. Not his acting, the portrayal of it. He did a good job. It just didn't seem to work for me in the way that the other story elements did. And I get it. I get exactly what you said, Bob, about the tunnels leading to different places are brilliant. And I love the way they were able to move from time a little bit through it. And I love it being the imprisonment for the Grand Serpent. But there was just, I don't know, somehow we
didn't get a lot of information on it. Well, we got some information, but we didn't get a lot of screen time on it. What we had was about a total of probably about a minute.
It feels the least coherent element of the story. It's like, how did Kate Stewart get there suddenly as the hero of human resistance? Yeah, that just got left. And
how did she know how did she know from inside that tunnel that all these Sontarans were in Chile?
Yeah, I didn't get that bit. That's my least favorite bit.
She's got to have a network of people still loyal to her up and down.
No, we understand that, but the fact that they didn't even attempt to kind of do that. It's fine because you can extrapolate. We're intelligent viewers. We can sort of work stuff out while we're watching. Yeah. But it did feel disconnected because of that. It didn't really impact on how good the story was.
And I don't think it even needed to say that. She could have just said, she was continuing to work as a solo agent. Probably would have had a better kudos to me than being this head of the Sontaran, because you didn't see it. Why would you have to say that sentence? She did it on her own.
I think if this was 10 episodes, there was plenty to fill it.
We'll have got Kate properly introduced and showing her in context rather than just a person.
And most of these episodes were 50 to 55, 1 hour long at times. So I bet if you actually work those out into 45-minute slots, you're going to at least get another maybe one and a bit episodes.
Well, I think as well with the Williamson doors in the tunnel, you could have had a full episode on that. You could have had, you could have used a lot of this. There's a lot of brilliant stuff, which for me was resolved but it could have had a lot more screen time. That's what I think. It's okay, sorry.
No, well, there has been things that have been said in Twitterverse that this, of course, was going to be like an 8-episode season. And because they've condensed, decided to make 2 of them specials, they've just taken it out of the season. Everything had to be condensed. So that's why it might look a bit rushed in that today's episode or the Vanquishers. But everything was explained, but some characters were sort of redundant, I think. Kate Stewart, I think, was redundant. Joseph Williamson in this episode was sort of redundant. Yeah. Diane.
She was there for fan service.
Yeah. Diane, I'm not sure exactly. I mean, she came up with the idea right at the end about Passenger, but what exactly did she do for the whole episode?
She was the experience of being inside the passenger, to get that understanding in the first place. So someone had to go in there and get that. And also it just gave a little bit broader characterization to Dan, perhaps, just a little bit more.
That's what I'm thinking it is.
Yeah.
The other thing there as well, if each passenger contains 500,000 people, why was Claire the one that had been targeted initially in the first episode by Azure, the one to survive?
Diane.
Sorry, Diane.
Yeah, well, I think the implication is that Azure wanted to play with her, but there was never any backup on that little end of episode that we saw.
I think we mentioned before. I think unfortunately Azure and Swarm in this episode, I thought they were so amazing during those first few, and then in this they just seemed tiny little puppets of time itself, which they were great and they just disappeared.
Can we address what is time do? Is that a thing that happens in Doctor Who? Time
never.
Itself?
That's new. Never seen that before.
Well, no, we've never seen the planet time. We've never seen Atropos before, so this is a new myth. Myth in Doctor Who, I suppose. Right. Okay. Where if you don't play Got Time, that's where time is balanced, centered, and comes from.
It's a really good seed to add to the story.
It is
to add for future. Yeah.
It is cool. Yeah, it's okay.
The bit that stands out for me is your and the Doctor storyline conversation that they had, where they're talking, and it's all about faith. The faith is Swarm and Azure likes to destroy things, and that is their complete faith. That's what they want to do. And Doctor wants to keep things alive and grow and build. That's her faith. And that's all that. And then that's also sort of explained towards the end, because they're trying to go, they're going to release their savior, who is time. And that's what they do. but they haven't been able to release him properly. But they still get the ascension, as she says, and
She does.
she's disintegrated or removed or whatever that happens to her.
So they could be used again.
Yeah, because
they seem happy with that. That was my interpretation. Yeah,
the acolytes, the disciples of time, right? So it's like a religion for them, you could say. That's what I seem to read that into it. And it seemed to be, that's the way it seemed to be explained in the episode with that conversation with the Doctor and that little bit where they're being destroyed at the end.
With time being almost, time loop, wasn't it? It was a continual time loop that they had the power of.
I quite like that idea that the flux would coincide with destroying Atropos and then they play it on a loop, through time.
But it makes sense because matter would be gone when Flux had finished its job and that would release time fully. So time would be basically released God in whatever space there is when there isn't a universe.
And that was their, that's their failure. That's why obviously time killed them because they failed.
The issue I've just thought of with Swarm and Azure is that there was a thing about we have had this dance often throughout the ages.
Yeah.
And that never went to where it was supposed to, I don't think. I don't know whether that was left in.
It meant for the past, wasn't it?
Do you think we'll see them again?
But my confusion was this is the first time they've done that, isn't it?
Yes.
So why is this something that it made it look like Swarm and Azure had been battling the Doctor all the time over ages and ages past? And that's not the case. And it was confusingly done.
But it was from the previous lives.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. I read it the same as Bob.
But she can't remember.
The division type.
Finger me.
Dear me, Bob. Well, what I'm thinking there, though, is because this is a multiverse sort of universe, which I know Bob hates the word, but it's a multiverse set of universes. They might have been released in other universes first to help with the destruction.
Polydimensional, should we say that?
Yeah.
That's another. That could be
polydimensional then. Polydimensional story universes out there. So therefore, they might have been released in those universes where they've been able to do what they wanted to do, rewind, destroy it before whichever incarnation of the timeless child before she appeared in our universe.
Yes, that makes sense. So Swarm and Azure have been doing this on different universes and winning.
Yeah.
But this is the one where they tried it and it failed. But it just feels weird that he was a prisoner of division for eons, and I didn't understand the whole track of it. Doesn't really make logical sense for me. But I'm fine. It's fine. It was really enjoyable though.
I thought everything was resolved fairly simplistically, but because of the constraints of time given to it, I think you can poke holes into it. It was
still entertaining as fuck.
It was absolutely entertaining. And Jericho, Eustace Jericho.
I love Jericho.
What a brilliant death scene and all that. It was fantastic. And the thing that I loved the most, and I think it kind of echoes what I've felt about this whole thing. He just went, "What an awfully big adventure!"
Yes,
and that to me is this Flux.
I'm sure that line's been said in Doctor Who by a Doctor in the past. I bet you.
It reminded me more of sort of Tolkien kind of thing.
It reminded not him, but it reminded me of Adric's definitely.
Oh, very of his time.
Yeah. But I just thought, yes, you are right, Jericho, and I'm really sad that you're going to die. But this is it. What was
he maybe lives on in other polydimensions.
Maybe.
I like the fact they did it actually because it shows the seriousness that there is in leaving traveling with the Doctor, because we've had like Amy and Rory get stranded in time, Donna with the memory wipes. We've never actually had a companion killed, not for a very long time. And I know he wasn't a companion, but he was an association of the Doctor, and I quite liked that, just raising the stakes a little bit. That Chibnall's done that. There's a risk for everyone.
Yeah, and I think, for me it was just a beautiful and sad and all them things.
Yeah.
With I just want to talk about actually. So we've touched on the Doctor's past and the watch coming out and all that kind of stuff. And I think after we get over New Year, the next couple of specials, I'm kind of hoping we'll do some resolving on the Timeless Child. But Carvanista, bless him, all the pair he got killed, all of them.
They had some cracking dog lines in this, didn't they?
Did, but
I loved it.
But Carvanista, I thought, was brilliant in this because it must be, you can't really tell apart from his eyes.
Yes.
He's acting, but he's great. You could sense his sadness, his anger. towards what the Sontarans had done. And then this whole thing that he's got this thing in his head that he can't tell a doctor about when he was with the doctor's companion, him or her or whatever. And he's incredibly angry and sad about that because obviously he had great affection, or does have great affection for the doctor, and he couldn't believe it when she came after him for knowledge of the division at the beginning of this whole thing. I just thought that was a great thing as well.
Yeah, I think he's actually one of my favourite characters in the whole of this Flux.
Yeah.
When he first came on, it shocked me. I still remember to this day in the first episode thinking, oh my God, what's going on here? And I just loved him. I loved the humour. I loved the loyalty. I loved the characterisation and the steady unravelling of him, ending up being a previous companion of the Doctor. I thought, again, real character development. Konsuki's putting his finger at me now. He's after fingering me.
Craig, always.
Hey.
See, what I'm thinking there, though, Carvinista is not just angry because of what is it? He's more angry about the fact that the Doctor abandoned him all those years ago. They were probably close companion Doctor relationship that they had, close on various missions with Division and probably without, and they'd just gone. And then all of a sudden, the Doctor abandoned him, and he couldn't look for her, couldn't find her, didn't know what had happened. Right? Doesn't realise that the memories had been wiped, and they'd have to start all over again with William Hartnell's character, Doctor. So he doesn't realise all that, even though when she is trying to explain it to him, he doesn't seem to want to have it.
And the fact he can't explain it to her because his brain will blow out.
That's a cracking line. I can't talk about it. You kind of feel for it because literally I can't because
he'll want it. He'll want to talk about it, won't he? He's had a really shit time in his episode when that comes out and all his race are dead like because Carvinista, bless him.
Yeah, but the doctor's trying to explain it away, but she can't take away the pain that he's had of feeling abandoned, and he's got to stick with him whether she's remembering about it or not.
And she doesn't know either. She's only had this tiny little glimpse when, from episode 3 when they were doing all that timey-whimey crazy stuff. Cool. I'm going to go around and just get some final thoughts, which I'm sure we'll have one or two bits and pieces, and I'll come to you first, Suki. Have you got any notes that you would like to furnish us with?
Yeah.
Oh, sexy.
There's it's a louder note. There's about 8 pages worth here. There's the stormtroopers, Sontaran stormtroopers. That's what they are, really, aren't they? They're like Star Wars stormtroopers. Basically, shit shots.
Yeah, but they can hit a fucking tiny ring on the floor.
Yeah, they can hit a ring. It's just terrible. But then you got the other thing with Star Wars. They had this side swipes, which were magnificent because it just reminded me of the old Star Wars films where they'd suddenly swipe from one scene to another.
Yeah, the transitions.
Yeah, that was great. I love that. The fact that there's 3 Doctors all interacting with each other, brilliant. And they're all communicating at the same time and they're jumping from one scene to another, but they're all in different places, but it's all played by the same actress, and she was magnificent.
Yep.
Doing all 3 scenes, different settings, whatever was happening to each that character in those settings, and she played it great. I think just the fact that we had 3 Doctors in a storyline.
Even when she played Time, there was a different element there, wasn't there? She actually played 4 characters in the program itself.
Oh yes, Time.
She played Time, and she did it really deadpan. I thought she was cool at that. I was so impressed by Jodie. Sorry to put in there, Suki.
But the way she plays comedy, seriousness, anger, all of the emotions, the range that's on display, and she takes it. There's not many people that can do that, and she absolutely nails that. And at the end, with the master.
We know what's coming. Yeah,
it's all coming for you and all that. It was cool. I loved all that. Sorry, Suki, go on.
That's all right. No, one of the scenes that really stand out for me visually is the one where she's transported to the house and Swarm and Azure are there, and now everything, the Doctor and the backgrounds are all black and white.
Yes.
And then you had Swarm and Azure were in colour. And then when she's been disintegrated in that scene, her hands have red dust coming off them. But everything is still black and white. And I think just thinking of those scenes, that was well done by whoever decided to do it like that.
The thing about the Crooked House Love as well is the fact it's her memories. So they're sort of disguised in this weird, illogical house.
Yeah.
And all of her memories are disguised and whatever in there. So there's still that perception filter, if you like. from this crooked house. And as a visual, it works splendidly. And I love the idea as well. You've got to sort of think about it, and you don't know much about it, and I like that a lot.
The
You fall asleep.
He's just checking his text messages.
There's also the scenes where the doctors are actually interacting with each other. She's flirting with herself.
That was brilliant. Yeah,
Got a
yeah.
crush on
So-
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're cute. Thank you. So are you. I've got such a crush on her.
And I think
so-
the Doctor's ego is massive. In any incarnation, the Doctor's ego is huge. Depending on the actor who plays the Doctor, but I think it was kind of like maybe a little nod, little bit of piss take, a little wink. I don't know. I'd love that though. It was great.
Yeah.
But as you go along, storyline goes along in the episode, right? You do notice that she's getting a bit niggly with herself as well.
Yes.
Right. So, like, even though she's got a crush on her, a bit later on, don't get shorty with me or something like that. Right. And she keeps interrupting herself, and they're both sniping each other. So maybe the love affair's over by the end of the episode. The fact that the Centaurans lured the Cybermen and Daleks away from Earth, because it's not Earth that this final Flux event is going to happen. That's the whole point of having this psychic command center, was to find out where this the final Flux event was going to happen. Once they found that out,
didn't Tech Team say that the end would be Earth?
Yes.
no,
did.
that was the apex. The first one was centered on Earth to go towards Earth, but then you had Swarm and Azure decide they're going to move it to Atropos. If you watch Swarm,
Yeah, but
it's
that
standing
is
with
like
the-
literally a line in there that every has a big plot change that he very quickly skirted over.
Yeah. That's why I picked it up on the second viewing. I didn't notice it on the first viewing. Second viewing,
It
you
confused
hear
me.
Swarm standing there while the Doctor and Azure having their conversation. Swarm standing next to you, and all of a sudden, they mention Atropos is going to be the center of the Flux. It's going to head towards there,
Cool.
and that's where. But they needed to know the location. The Centaurans needed to know the location. That way, it'd be there at the beginning of this Flux event, so
Well
they can
explained.
so they can have all the ships there at one stage, right at the beginning, before it gets even more powerful and starts spreading or contracting in towards Atropos. Once that's happened, this is where the whole confusion is the whole universe destroyed, or as everything. What's going to happen in future? Is it only Earth surviving? This is the confusion that's happening within fandom. It's all explained within this story.
But it's not explained clearly, is it?
It is explained clearly.
It's not though,
very-
because I still don't fucking get it.
Okay.
And I watched it
Right.
twice, and I've taken detailed notes. It's just like must have happened. Must be a line in there.
If
If
Suki-
anyone
if Suki-
wants to read,
I don't need you to give me the evidence for everything.
No,
Suki.
no.
Just
No,
do
no.
the rest of your notes. I don't
At
need to
your-
explain. I
at
don't need
your
you to
own
explain
leisure.
the whole show to
At-
me right now.
Oh,
At
they've
your
not-
own
they've not had a-
leisure.
They've not had a tiff for a
at
while.
your own
And how
leisure.
does
At
started-
your own
they've
at your own
leisure.
leisure?
Pinnacle try to advertise our website here. At your own leisure, go to Around the Console Facebook page, because I've already put the post up on there.
I'm not signed up for that one. I'm sorry.
Admin you are.
Never heard
Right,
of it.
but, right, I'll explain it then.
Go on.
I don't want you to.
I
want you to
do.
say the rest of your notes.
I want to do it quickly.
All right.
Like Jodie says, tell me everything, but quickly.
Go on then. Fucking
the
hell.
first- will you listen?
I'm going to need my
first-
glasses empty at this point. I'm dehydrated.
The first Flux event that happened was from the outside contracting towards the apex, which was Earth, and that's what happened. And now on the universe, most places on the outer rim are brand new galaxies and stuff. They're being created all the while. So obviously, on those universes, there's not going to be that much life, planets, and everything. Why are you all walking away? Flipping heck.
You've already
so-
lost me. You've already lost me. When about the,
That's
about
why
the
I said-
galaxies at the
that's
edge of
why I
the
s-
universe? What are you on
That's why I
about?
said go to the Around the Console Facebook page.
Right.
I've already
I'm going
explained
to
on
be
there.
devil's advocate here. Suck it. I kind of think I understand you, but can I say that we are four intelligent men? This
Yeah.
is also aimed at kids. If we are struggling to get our heads
Hang on a
around-
minute.
This
Whoa,
is not
four
ended, kids.
intelligent men. Where?
Oh, sorry. Well, I was imagining Cliff was here as well, and that you weren't, Bob. Sorry. Okay, it's not aimed at kids, but it's got a broad. It's got a range, a cover of different people, including a younger audience. Yes, this was more mature. If we're struggling to get it from the quick line, hang on, it's alienating some
Suki,
people here.
settle down, man.
I've never seen him so agitated. It must be those piles.
Try to explain it though. But okay,
Is your body bird in your bum?
Oh, hang on, my
my
phone's going.
back is killing me right now. My back is killing me right now. The universe, as it says, Flux is on the outer rim of the universe, contracting in. The Doctor realizes the flux is happening and puts the TARDIS in the way and stops most of it in that first episode, second episode.
Yeah.
Right. So
Right,
of course,
cliffhanger the first one. Yeah.
So the flux is stopped there and then. First time round.
No,
That's not explained.
No, it's not, though, is it?
I get
Because
that, but I don't think
because
it's explained.
how do the Carbonistra? It stops at the Carbonistra sort of the Lupari shield.
And then
How do
Lupari
they
shield-
successfully do that?
and then the TARDIS takes a bit of it, and then
Yeah.
the
TARDIS
Lupari
doesn't
shield.
stop anything.
And
It fails to
ships-
stop anything.
And it stops most of it. And
No.
the TARDIS stops most of it around the rim. It does. It stops it.
How do you know, Suki? I don't.
See, this is what I mean.
This is,
Can we
it
just
seems
agree
to
that
be
it's not
Swarm,
clear?
Swarm does mention it as well. So I'm kind of on
Yeah.
Suki's side. But anyway, I'm bored. Come on, what's the rest of your notes?
Yeah, I don't care about this shit. Move on.
I don't care enough.
The
to argue.
Sontarans haven't all been killed, right? So they have not all been killed because it does say two of the Sontarans are unconscious in that Lupari ship. So there wasn't a full genocide there on the Sontaran race.
All right, technicality. I mean, you killed billions, but you didn't kill two of them, so it's not a genocide. Nice.
And I think that's the end of my notes.
Really? Wow, I was settling
Yeah,
myself
well,
in then.
I had that first whole explanation, but it's all on the around the console Facebook page. Please go there, subscribe, like, and have a good look at that. What first?
I know what you're saying, Suki. I do kind of agree with you, but the explanation was long.
Rushed.
It's John. No, I mean Suki's explanation was long.
Yes.
The one in the show was rushed.
It's
John,
because I get it interrupted.
is your name fucking John? You've had your say, John.
Oh, darling.
Are we all settled down now?
Yes. Is everybody ready?
Jodie was a true highlight, proper good all the way through. Her
Yes.
performance was the key to this one. Claire Brown was back, and I really like that because she's lovely. The Carvinista's exchange with the Doctor was okay. Is it making it canon that K9 is not the first dog as Doctor, the first dog a Doctor's ever had?
There you go. That's made canon now.
Put that in. And so it made it clear at last, although I had an idea that like Swarman as your was the end of all space, all matter. But then you've got the thing about the antimatter stuff, and I've seen a few people go spazzing about the fact that antimatter is mentioned and Omega is also mentioned in this thought. Am I right in saying that? I've watched one of those Doctor Who's.
Yeah, well, Omega was an experiment went wrong and it went into antimatter, but it's got absolutely nothing to do with the flux.
Yeah, I know. Just the word antimatter.
Yeah.
It's going
So
nuts.
that's straight away. Yeah.
So yeah, we killed a lot of people in this episode, by the way. A lot of armies were killed as well. Vinda and Dai's escape is way too fast and not earned. That was one of those situations where they said, right, we've got that, we just want to finish that bit.
Get it out. Yeah.
Same with the Grand Serpent, same with I don't understand why the Daleks and the Cybermen would even entertain the idea of a fucking
parlay.
Yeah,
or
with
whatever you wanna call
Sontarans.
it.
Surely they know what Sontarans are like.
Yeah.
With all their fleets as well, the way they
Yeah.
took everyone there, that was a little bit. I
That's
thought
just crazy, that was.
They're
Mind
all
you,
mind
double
you,
crossing races.
Yeah.
the Soviets did ally with the Germans and then were betrayed. So I guess
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it's been done
historical
before.
context. So Kate Stewart is responsible for the Artron energy. What's the Artron energy?
It's from the TARDIS,
TARDIS.
Right. Okay.
time
cool.
energy kind of thing.
And Di not getting together with Dan was a disappointment, but
I think I liked that.
no.
I
I think she
fine.
overreacted a million times. Just because he was late for a date, that's it, never again.
No, I think it was
No.
overwhelming.
No.
The whole
Yeah.
kind of this is emotional. I've been cut off, and I don't think it was him because she doesn't. She says maybe not tomorrow. Doesn't she? Almost like just give me a bit of time.
I know, but I think in terms of a TV program, it was kind of more or less expected that a little bit of a happy ending was in time, but it doesn't matter. Doctor and Yaz, Dan interrupting them from possibly Doctor saying something that she would maybe never ever say to a companion, and the little tear at the end. It just made you feel like the Doctor's the loneliest person in the world, despite the fact she's got companions.
Yeah,
because she can never tell them the real stuff,
and they're only fleeting because the Doctor's
only
lifespan.
fleeting. Yep. The Fub Watch plot is put on hold for RT Davis. Why she doesn't want the memories of why she doesn't open the Fub Watch unless she's afraid that she'll turn out to be somewhat more evil in the past than she wants.
It's just it's fear, isn't it? And also, you could have New Year's Eve episode, then you've got
Fear
two.
of what?
Just fear of your past. She doesn't know. She doesn't know what she's been up to. And
Yeah,
that
that's what I'm saying.
but
she'd probably find out that she wasn't very nice in the past.
yeah.
If
Good
our Atropos party Doctor, Ruth Doctor stuff is anything to go by.
Bit more gangster.
It's
A bit more shooty, killy.
Yeah, I think
It's a bit of a
also an element
contradiction what she's coming up with though, because she has been searching for these memories for the past whatever it is, few episodes anyway. And then when she has the actual memories in her hand and she gets them,
But
she puts them away.
the really
she likes to be in control as well, doesn't she? So she doesn't know what's in there. She could be unleashing anything.
and also they don't have time.
That's what I would say from a real point of view.
Yeah.
Only 1 hour episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John, you got much more notes left?
That was it. I was
Lovely.
finished.
Thank you very much, Craig.
I want to pick up a little bit more on the Yaz storyline, Yaz and the Doctor. I thought that was really beautiful, actually. I loved the reunion bit when they're down in the tunnels and they meet for the first time. And I do sometimes judge the Doctor or how it's written for how they reunite with companions after a while. And I always think that the Doctor would want to hug their companion. They've missed them. She said that hologram. And that's exactly what this Doctor does, is she says things and she goes, oh, hang on, and gives her a big hug.
Yeah.
And I just really liked that. And it showed that bond. And then even that little line when she's going, oh, yes, la, la, oh, Dan, oh, Jericho. And who's that? I like the playfulness of that, the way she asks Yaz, because she's so confident. She's her eyes into that world. And then coming back to what John said just before, I loved that scene in the TARDIS, the way the Doctor opened up to her, and you got this
almost opened up.
Yeah, exactly. There was just a little bit where she did the whole I was looking for me, and you get that seriousness, and then you get it felt I really in some ways hope it isn't, but you've got a real closeness of intimacy, whether that's a chemistry or whether it's just a deep friendship is irrelevant, but you got a real bond between them. And it almost felt like the gooseberry interrupting when Dan shouts through. And
Yaz is this Doctor's Rose, isn't it?
Yes, she is. I don't think that's yet been developed. It's been very slowly done.
We'll find out, won't we?
The way it is.
I wondered if the lines, I've got a crush on you, was a kind of segue into the fact that she might be quite happy to look at someone of the same sex, a kind of deliberately planted seed.
Yeah, I did think that actually.
I don't know what gender the Doctor is. I don't think the Doctor knows.
I don't know. I don't think so. But I love the way as well, the interplay that was coming out between Dan and Yaz was so much better for me than the interplay between Yaz and Graham or Yaz and Ryan. The whole Scouse Yorkshire. Come on, Scouse. Let Yorkshire show you the way. I
liked it. I still think John Bishop is an extremely terrible actor.
Yeah, he is.
But it suits this character.
I was thinking about his acting and the way he portrays. He's very laconic. He's very laid back in his when he's talking, and I think that probably best reflects how a normal person would be in that situation. In terms of you wouldn't be a great expressive person. The general person on the street isn't.
No.
You pick up Suki, stick him in there, he'd probably act just like that.
He wouldn't have time to actually be too busy checking his phone.
You're the man on the street when I think of a man on the street. So
homeless.
No, playing along, walking.
You're just your everyday fella.
Yeah, no, I take that on board. You know, it's he does a job, I suppose. And he has had some great moments in this, and he has been funny on occasion.
Yeah.
Craig.
Yeah, I loved. We haven't mentioned it yet, particularly, I think, but daring to go back to a conversation with Suki, I did like the resolve of the Flux going into passenger. I thought it was simple,
cool,
and
simple, yeah.
Yeah, simple and effective, and well and truly established from the previous 5 episodes that the passenger is pretty much endless. And I like the fact that Diane came up with it, even though she wasn't a massive part of the 6 stories. It gave her the role in it, and I just thought it was really lovely. The same again, going back to what John said with the fact that the matter and the antimatter. It was really simple to understand that the flux is antimatter. You put loads of matter in its way, and it slowly gets absorbed, so it's killing some of it. I thought that was a really nice, simple. It wasn't just sci-fi.
That's not how matter and antimatter interact.
I know, but it worked in my brain.
I know.
This is the way this story is employing the way this thing happens.
It's better than reverse polarity or whatever. It just made sense. It was simple and effective, and I liked it. And on a really 2 more things, 2 lines that I loved. One was when she was talking to the Grand Serpent, and she goes, "I'm going to put you on the very naughty step." Yeah, I just thought that was really some sweet one-liners. And when Di says, having lived in Liverpool for 3 years, and in my 3rd year at uni, spent an awful lot of time in between exams playing Laser Quest, which was very.
That was funny. That was a good line.
I loved it. Yeah, I just really because I could visually. It took me straight back to my uni days playing Laser Quest in Liverpool, and it was just I loved it. It was really great. So they're my final thoughts, really. But I love to see that development of Yaz coming in there.
We'll find out to see whether something happens because I mean, Carvanista, Vinder and Bell have got a nice little spin-off if they want it.
Yeah. Can I just ask? There was a few rumors, and I think it is just rumors about Yaz staying on with the new Doctor.
No, we don't know, do we?
Well, that's what I then saw a post saying it's so glad to see that Yaz has been confirmed. It's like I ain't seen it confirmed anywhere. It's not, has it?
We're not a podcast. It's not speculative rumor sort of thing.
No, that's fine. I just hadn't wanted to miss something. I didn't think I had.
No, she's just
way too soon for stuff like that.
It'll be what it'll be.
Exactly.
Cool. Right. Well, you finished, Craig. Sorry.
Yep, all finished. Yeah, wiped up and everything.
2 words, Craig. You go first.
Oh, dead straightforward. Epic adventure. That's what we said right at the beginning. Epic adventure.
Suki, your 2 words.
Satisfying ending.
Ooh.
Cool. John.
Frantic finale.
Oh, mine is just thank you. I've absolutely loved it. I fucking loved it. It's been. For me,
that's the 2nd time it's been thank you, hasn't it?
Well, good. He wants more thank yous. He wants 6 massive thank yous.
He does need loads of thank yous, absolutely. I think so. And thank you by Alanis Morissette.
But personally, I have absolutely loved this series of Doctor Who. It's been for me the best thing that New Who's brought back, without a doubt. So yeah, thank you.
I mean, I would echo that, Bob. It is.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah,
I can't wait to get my box set and watch it all in a few months' time, just back to back.
You're not weird. I won't be doing that, but yeah, you do you.
I've got a dilemma on that because do I buy Flux the box set, or do I wait and see if they're going to do Flux and the 3 specials as a box set? And I don't know which way to go on that.
That's the risk we run, isn't it, Craig? As Doctor Who DVD and Blu-ray buyers, we're always buying again. I'm giving away season 17 to my mate tomorrow because the Blu-ray is coming in it. But it's just the life of a Who fan, isn't it?
It is.
Right, cool.
Player is your friend.
I'm going to say iPlayer, it's all free, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Right. Well, before we hear from our Cliff, because Cliff unfortunately is not be able to join us tonight, but he sent us some audio feedback. And then
could be asked, could he?
I think he was awake though, so that's good.
Yeah. At least he let us know. I was hanging around where he might be dead.
True. And we hand over to Suki and his kids, which has been a brilliant section. I've really enjoyed that in this podcast.
We're all fans of the kids. They're all the kids. They're better than fucking Suki.
I've always said that. That's what I've encouraged. Make sure you're better than me.
But no, thank you very much. They're absolutely brilliant. So that's thanks. But we've got some things to do. So we're going to be bringing out a Christmas episode on Christmas Day. And the way we're going to be selecting this is rolling D6 dice, which is probably like a normal dice, but for D&D nerds like us, it's a D6. So we've all picked an episode of a Christmas special from Doctor Who's past, and I'm going to roll on it. So Craig, what episode of Doctor Who Christmas special have you picked, please?
I've picked the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe.
Oh, Suki, what have you picked?
I've picked the first one, Christmas Invasion.
Have you? John?
I have not got the list and even looked. So I'm going to pick the Feast of Stephen.
The Feast of... That's the Dalek Master Plan, 12 parts. 12
John,
parts.
please, can I beg you to rethink very quickly?
What season's that?
William
It's not,
Hartnell.
it's William
William
Hartnell.
Hartnell.
It's not even in existence.
Right.
It's
Okay,
an
no,
audio.
I definitely don't fucking want that. But in order to piss everybody off, I'm going to go with the Voyage of the Damned.
Oh,
Really? Oh, I love you, John.
Well, Cliff has also picked the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe.
the
I think
Doctor,
it-
Widow, the Wardrobe.
Yeah, and I was, but with my heart, I would go with the Christmas Invasion personally because I fucking love that for the first time I watched that. But I don't think I'd have the same love on rewatch. But the one I can't really remember was the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe. So I'm going to pick that.
Oh.
So between 1 to 6, John is 1, Suki is 2, I am 3, Cliff is 4, Craig is 5, and the 6 is roll again. So it's 3, it's me, it's the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe. So we'll be reviewing that for a Christmas Day special.
Which one's that one?
Will be
Matt
out Christmas
Smith.
Day. It's a Matt Smith
No,
one.
I mean, what episode? What is it?
It's the Matt Smith Christmas special.
Alexander Armstrong
Anything about the
from
plot?
I can't remember anything. And
I
this is-
can't remember much about it. Set in the war.
yeah, it's a
A
war
missing dad.
widow. Yeah, the husband has flown away and's gone missing in action, and the Doctor suddenly turns up as a caretaker of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I can't remember.
Is this the one with the wood tree things? It is, isn't it? Or is
Yeah.
that a different one?
Don't spoil
Think
it for
so.
me. Don't because I can't.
That's all
remember.
like
You've seen it before, Bob.
I know, but I
mean,
can't
literally.
remember.
That's
I'm really
literally why I
excited.
chose it, is because I cannot remember it. I think I put that in my message. You didn't have
I'm
to.
really excited. So that's what we'll be doing next. And the host will be, because we're now randomly picking a host. Number 2, Suki, you're hosting.
Okay, dokie.
So yeah, the Doctor,
make sure you
the
turn
Widow,
up.
and the Wardrobe, and Suki host if you don't fall asleep.
Yeah, set your alarm, Sucky, yeah?
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for joining us on this Flux journey. We will now hear from Cliff and Suki and his kids. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye bye, lovelies.
Bye, YouTube.